With more on this, we're joined by Mark Holland. He is a Liberal Member of Parliament. Thank you very much for joining us. Liberals, including Byron Wilford, say that Stéphane Dion will step down tomorrow. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I think if Stéphane does step down tomorrow, we need to take a minute to reflect on his contribution to both the country and to our party, whether or not it was as environment minister or the work that he did in the Clarity Act. This is somebody who made a great contribution and somebody who I know to be one of the most sincere people in politics. And he led us during a very difficult time. He is to be commended for what he did. And again, he is acting in the best interests of the party and putting his party and nation first in the actions that he takes.
In your view, is it the right thing to force him to step down earlier than planned?
Well, whether or not it's a right thing or the wrong thing, the important thing is that we move forward and we stay firmly focused on what Canadians care about, and that is their jobs, their pensions, their futures, making sure that we protect the Canadian economy. They're watching the rest of the G7 nations take firm action to make sure that, that other countries are protected, and we haven't been doing anything here. Instead, what we've seen from the Prime Minister is nothing but partisan attacks on the principle of equal pay for equal work for women, attacks on labor. That has to end. And so what we have to do is firmly put forward in the agenda what Canadians want to see us focusing on, and that's their well-being.
Now, we keep hearing from Liberals that it's important for the party to get a new leader very quickly. Dominic LeBlanc is dropping out of the race. What's your reaction to that?
I have a tremendous respect for Mr. LeBlanc, and if he does drop out and support Michael, it is really going to be fantastic. But I think that more than just all the names in caucus and large names within the party that are supporting Michael, what I'm most excited by his candidacy is the fire he's ignited within the grassroots. You know, I spent a lot of time going and talking to different riding associations and talking with the people who are the bread and butter of this party, who put up the signs and raise money. And I haven't seen in my time as a Liberal our party as fired up as they are right now and as unified as they are to make sure we go forward and do good things for Canadians and make sure that we challenge the regressive vision that Stephen Harper has for the country. I think people are ready for that alternative, and we're ready to put it forward.
Now, you say that you're excited by Dominic LeBlanc's candidacy, which apparently is ending. Who do you think you'll end up supporting in this race?
Well, if Dominic does drop out, we're hopeful that he's going to be coming and supporting Michael Ignatieff. We feel that his energy and the contribution he is ready to make to the party fits well with the candidacy of Michael Ignatieff. And so we're very hopeful that he's going to be supporting us.
Now, a lot happened last week. By the end of this week coming up, do you think the Liberal Party is going to have a new and permanent leader?
Well, we don't know, but I think it's important that we establish a permanent leader before we return to the House on January 27th. We need as a party to deal with our leadership, particularly given the fact that we're in the crisis that we're in. So I don't suspect that we'll be seeing an interim leader, but the question is, can we find consensus and can we make sure that whatever decision is made actively engages the grassroots? And so I do suspect in a very short period of time we're going to have a permanent leader, certainly before we return to the House on January 27th.
Is there consensus about the coalition? Is it a good idea?
I think what we care most about is the key principles that we've been advocating through the coalition. And what has to get out and we really have to explain is that this is about the economy, it's about an economic stimulus package, it's about protecting sectors like forestry and auto that are in desperate need of help, and Stephen Harper is doing nothing, that these are our priorities. And so we need to lay out those clear principles. And by the way, one of those principles has to be stability in Parliament. And Stephen Harper, if he continues to go for the jugular and launch partisan attacks and refuse to work for the rest of the parties, absolutely, I believe there will be a coalition government.
Liberal MP Mark Holland, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.